Welcome back, citizens of the Grateful Nation. You are here for another episode of the I'm Doing Great podcast. Before we begin, listen, please do me a favor. Go to I'mDoingMerch.com. We've got some new stuff up. The Don't Vote tee. We've got the Yay t-shirt. Hold on. Let's scroll over. Let's get up. There he is. Yay is wearing an I'm Doing Great hat. Let's just scroll in there. See, he's wearing it. See, can you see it? Yay's doing great. It's up there. It's $35. Support the show. Support us. Did you guys hear that? A glass broke in your kitchen. It's late at night. You're sleeping in bed with your family. What do? You reach for your gun. It's on top of your side table. You're sweating. You're nervous. Your wife is telling you, go check that out. You hear footsteps in your house. You bring the gun up. It's compressed to your chest, as it should be, because you don't ever want to leave a gun outside of a door frame. You put that gun out. Your hands are sweating. Gun falls out of your hand. Oh no. Why did that happen? It happened. Now you're dead because you don't have a Sonoran Defense stippled Glock on you. And that's why that happened. So go to SonoranDefense.com, 10% off, IDG10 to get 10% off at checkout. Not on gun sales though, just on the stippling and on the accessories. Nimi Skincare. You don't want your skin to look like trash? NimiSkincare.com. You don't want your money going to woke corporations? NimiSkincare.com. We have a code. I don't think we have a code. We have a link. An affiliate link or something like that. Go down to NimiSkincare.com / I think it's IDG. It'll be down there. It's great. Our last sponsor of the show, Van Man Co. Or Van Man Shop, the Van Man Shop. No discounts on the site. Just go to them and we provide you the link that you can get anywhere else, I guess. So that's nice. Go to the Van Man Shop. They make cool stuff with no chemicals in it. And then one more announcement, guys. The tickets to the I'm Doing Great panel on God. God is great. The Christian theological panel happening December 10th. Go get your tickets there. And we have a guest in studio today that I can clearly outbench, but Gina is going to introduce him. So Gina, go ahead.
Oh, we have another bro science expert in the house today. He's a professional bodybuilder. He's a fitness coach. He's a dad. He's an entrepreneur. He's all the things. Marc Lobliner, welcome to I'm Doing Great.
Oh, it is an honor to be here. And good news is it was literally, whoa, I thought you were fixing my mic. You know what? But I do have a lot in common with Ben Shapiro. We're both Jews. So I'd like to just give a shout out to Ben for that. I don't wear the hat, but I wear this cool little Star of David. Yeah. Just so people know, like I don't stand out. I don't look Jewish, they tell me.
Right. Yeah.
I was called a fake Jew on Twitter today.
Oh.
Fake Jew. They have an article if you Google my name, there's an article of this woman blasting me for not being Jewish, but she looked up the wrong side of my family. So because you can't find the other side. You want to know why? They were killed in the Holocaust.
Oh, so you're a real anti-Semite.
I'm super anti-Semitic. It's what I do. I'm a self-hating Jew, kind of like Kanye West.
Kind of like Kanye.
Because he is Jewish.
You are going to speak for all the Jews today, you know.
I have gotten permission from my Jewish elders.
Okay, great.
We have elders, right? Do you know?
I don't know.
I got to call somebody. Let me call the Illuminati on that one. But so I got permission to speak on behalf of all Jews today. So everything I say is representative of all opinions of all Jewish people.
Keyword is permission. He got permission. They don't control anything.
Yeah, Kanye didn't. Obviously, that's why it was canceled.
That was the problem.
Can we play you something, Marc, from a friend of ours, our friend? So Kanye now has been. He's been separated from Adidas. Yeah. His talent company dropped him.
He's no longer a billionaire.
He's no longer a billionaire because of that. No, probably not. Record label dropped him. A bunch of stuff happened. And we have a good cultural attaché that had some thoughts about it. So let's listen to that real quick.
A good friend of the show.
Yeah, dude. Kanye West be like, tomorrow, Kanye West be like, I'm feeling a little bit sleepy this evening. However, in the morn, I will be addressing the Jewish question. Everybody be like, bans him from social media, bans him from Adidas, takes down the Drink Champs interview, and then you've got Noor. Oh, you've got this. I'm not gonna slur. I'm not finna slur on him. But you got this MFA Noor, who writes apologizes on Kanye's behalf. He's like, I'm sorry for having Kanye on. I didn't know he was going to say so many anti-Semitic things. It was irresponsible of me. And this is what he says. I kid you not. The entire interview, we had our Jewish manager standing off beside the camera, ready to tell us whenever Kanye said something that was over the line. You can't make this up.
I love it.
So very kind.
I love it. But what Kanye said, I didn't take offense to. I found it opinion. And, at the end of the day, there's good and evil of all cultures and races and religions. And, I think that some people who are running certain things that he's a part of might in fact be Jewish, and maybe a lot of them are. And, Kanye has an opinion, and I'm one of those free speech guys where like you can say things that I don't like. Yeah. And I'm not going to cancel. At the end of the day, every day in my house, I have surround sound built in because I live on hip hop music. I grew up in the West Coast in the 90s. It's all I listen to. Kanye is blaring on my speaker. It doesn't make me think less of Kanye. And let's be honest, he's an artist. None of them are right in the head. That's why he's so good at what he does, because he's nuts. The guy's always been insane. He's just saying insane stuff against Jews now. And I'm like, I don't even know if it's against him.
Do you play R. Kelly though?
I honestly was never a big R. Kelly fan, but I don't see anything wrong with a little bump and grind. Nothing.
Yeah, right. No,
nothing. There's nothing wrong.
I don't necessarily cancel people based on any political or cultural views, especially with acting. A lot of people will say, especially conservatives, I won't see that movie because George Clooney's in it. Okay, wow, you did it. What a service.
Good job.
Yeah, I'm a big Avengers guy. Huge Avengers guy. Always been. Captain America is my jam. Everybody thinks he's going to be the Hulk, but no, I like Captain America. That dude just went in a chamber, took a bunch of steroids, boom, give him a shield, he's ready to go.
Yeah.
I can do that. I can be Captain America. I can do that. Like, I can't be the Hulk, but I can be Captain America. Yeah. And what really got me, like, Scarlett Johansson, like, she's extremely left. But what got me to kind of look past her political beliefs is Scarlett Johansson's butt. It's amazing.
Fair.
It is amazing. It will bring us all together. If we all just focused on Scarlett Johansson's behind, I mean, the world would be a better place.
The one thing to unite us all, Scarlett's bootay.
It's amazing. It is an amazing butt.
Yeah, I would have to disagree as now a man of modesty and a staunch and military Catholic. I don't believe in looking at the immodesty of women to benefit the culture. If anything, I would look to Scarlett's acting, which is slightly above par. So she's got that going for her. Marc?
Average.
But she was wearing a very conservative pair of tights in that movie. But I mean, it's just like the yoga pants that my wife wears, who's obviously very conservative, very conscious of what she looks like. She's not falling out or anything. They're just a standard pair of tights, but with that butt. They became amazing. And I just remember I saw it on the, where you have the 3D glasses, when the original Avengers.
Yeah.
And so you saw her butt in 3D. It was life-changing.
Her butt really is more appealing than her politics, though, which is, I guess, the point.
The point is that talent is talent. And as much as, I have my beliefs, and I think my beliefs are that of a 90s Democrat, which is insane. Like, I'm literally like a walking 90s Democrat.
Right.
But unfortunately, the left's they've moved more to the left. And I've pretty much just stayed here. I've become a little more pro-life because I have kids and I didn't want to kill them while they were unborn. And that kind of changes, you go figure. And so I wouldn't want anybody to not enjoy my delicious outright bars because they think that I voted for the wrong person. So, that's where I kind of come into play, is that I'm just like, we all deserve to have opinions and we should speak about them. And that's something that open discourse is something we need to have. Unfortunately, some people deal with facts and opinion. The other deal with feelings. And when you start dealing with feelings and weird things, you start redefining science and biology and gender and redefining what murder is. That's when you lost me. So again, I want to have open conversation. I want to have discourse with people. I don't want people to agree with me because some of what I say, I've changed my opinion. We can all grow. We can all evolve. We can all change. But if you don't hear anything but what your college professor says, maybe you hear it, but you don't listen to it, you never have the opportunity to truly be enlightened. Right. And I've been enlightened by a lot of people a lot smarter than me on both sides of the aisle.
Do you think that the reaction to Kanye was a little bit, no pun intended, like on the nose? Like, I have a Jewish nose. So Marc doesn't know, but yeah. So my name Lerner, that obviously is a Jewish last name that was probably shortened somehow. But half of my family, especially more of them that are in California now, are Jewish. Mm-hmm. I was raised Catholic. So we're kind of like the three kids in the Lerner family who were raised Catholic.
Your dad was...
My dad wasn't even bar mitzvahed or anything like that. I don't think my dad's been in the temple more than one time.
But your dad's family.
I don't even think my grandfather. I mean, we were that family that celebrated Passover, Yom Kippur, Christmas, and all the Christian holidays.
Well, you got all the holidays.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was never more than really learning what the holidays were about, especially the Jewish ones. We just went there and we just performed them. We didn't learn anything about it, and no fault to our grandfather or grandmother. It wasn't a thing that they taught us. We just participated in these things. So what I'm finding now is just the outpouring of support for Jewish people in general, which just seems kind of weird when you just give some general group support for no reason other than because it seems
a
like
little condescending. Isn't it a bit condescending to see all of these, the new black square is, what is it? I stand with Jewish people now. It's like,
well, the new thing now is going to be, hold on. I have a Jewish friend. Okay. So I can't be anti-Semitic.
Yeah,
That's going to be the new thing.
If you're Jewish and you see all the new black squares, essentially, aren't you a little bit like, I don't need your protection against some rapper who made my tummy hurt? Like, I don't know why people see that and they think that's like, it's a good thing to be supported like that.
That's what it is, though.
It's condescending.
It's a tummy ache. I feel like it's nothing more than a tummy ache. And I mean, like Alex said on the last episode, Feinberg.
We had dinner that night.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah.
Absolutely. He's a good friend of mine. And
he's a good dude.
I love him to death. Like he's one of the few people in this world that I can say, okay, that's
Marc.
a person I respect from all angles. Like I learned from him.
He's super smart.
I've gotten rid of dumb people. Like if I'm with a dumb person, I kind of separate.
Yeah.
He's one of the guys I want to keep in my circle.
Yeah.
Because you level up. When you're around dumb people, you become dumber. When you're around people better than you, I want every employee in every one of my companies to be better than me. Because why would I just get a bunch of me's? I'm an idiot.
You'd be out of a company.
Yeah.
Someone commented on Alex's episode. They were like, I had to stop, go back, and then re-listen again because that dude is just an outpouring of knowledge.
So smart.
He is. He really is. And he's very well spoken.
Yeah.
Very Jewish last name. Even more Jewish than my name's not even Jewish.
No, it's not.
Lobliner.
It's Polish.
Polish.
So we're Polish Jews.
The Pope.
So my mom's name is Gross, and her the other side of her family's name is Drabek. And so those are the ones we know about. We really have trouble tracing back further. I know there was a Russian Jew somewhere back there who was a rabbi. Like there's a lot of stuff going on. But again, a lot of our lineage was lost.
You do an Ancestry.com.
I had a 23andMe, but I didn't do Ancestry.com.
They look into the people in your family. That's what I want to do. I want to do an Ancestry.com.
Don't give your DNA.
Oh, you have to give your DNA for Ancestry?
I know 23andMe. I don't know about Ancestry.
I think Ancestry, they just look at records.
I gave my DNA before I was a conspiracy theorist, for the record. Like that only happened in 2020 is when I really woke up. But back to the Jewish thing, is it condescending? Honestly, these are the same people who told us that Jews are evil and Palestinians are great. I think both of them are great. Like, I don't concern myself with that. I'm an American. People always say, what's your opinion on Israel and Palestine? I'm not there. Like, why would I comment?
Based and true. Thank you.
Segue into your question.
Why would I comment on something? Look, man, like
my question was, before, just to interrupt you, because you did say it, my question was, should Jews be synonymous with the state of Israel?
Up to a point, yes. I mean, for me, absolutely. My mother served in the Israeli Defense Force. So I think that if you look at me, you look at a descendant of an actual current, like Israeli, someone who fought for Israel, who served in battle with Israel. So for me, it's like, okay, he's an extension of a soldier for the state of Israel. However, like there's a lot of Jews. I've never been to Israel. I have no intention of going. I had birthright. I didn't know about it till I was too old to claim that free trip. My daughter, however, is Jewish enough to take them up on the free offer. She's already looking into it. She's 16.
That's cool.
Oh, I'm like, go for it. I'll pay for my ticket. We'll roll together. Like my daughter and I trained together. I'm like, might as well go visit the homeland together. But I've never been to Israel. I don't care about it. I don't say I don't care. I care about Israel like I care about humanity.
It's weird if you don't have any relatives that live there. And if you've never been there, and if you're born here and grown up here, it's just sort of this weird affiliation to have to the state of Israel. You have a familial one, which is understandable. I get that. But I mean, like, again, I'm here. I don't really understand our relationship other than they're a quote unquote ally against people we're not supposed to like, I guess. I don't know.
I'm America first. At the end, I've always been America first since before it was cool. Yeah. America is where I'm from. America is what's given me this opportunity for someone like me who's by no means special to simply outwork people and achieve a level of what most would consider success. However, and we are the greatest nation. And we are at the greatest moment in our national, and I always say this, people get mad at me, but our nation's the best it's ever been. As far as if you take a time period, like think about it. We started with some weird stuff, then we had slavery. We still have people alive who were in internment camps on American soil just because they were Asian, not Japanese. You think that some random white soldier can tell a Japanese person from a Chinese person? It just is what it is. They had so many Chinese, Koreans, and others in these internment camps, and we're sitting
reparations.
there. Reparations. I'm saying that America is definitely not without sin. However, every nation is with sin. And so what can we do to move forward and be better? And by me standing with Israel over standing with my country of America, at the end of the day, man, I'm an American.
Yeah.
I'm not even an American Jew. I'm an American, period. And we should all unite as Americans. Whatever our skin color, whatever our political affiliation, this anti-American sentiment is insane. So for me, it's about America first, no matter what. So do I find it condescending? I find it funny how the same people who were saying that Israelis and Jews were a bunch of murderers for what they do to Palestinians are coming out supporting Jews now. It's tribalism. It's the same people who have that stupid Ukrainian flag in their bio, the same people with the stupid blue waves, the same people with little mask emojis and or syringe emojis. If anybody should have a syringe emoji, it's me. I'm a pro bodybuilder. That's what we do. I feel misappropriated.
I gotta say too, I don't have the Ukrainian flag, never had it in profile or anything, just because trace my family back to Russia. So I'm Team Russia on this one, if I had to pick one.
Team Putin.
Yeah.
Putin wrestles bears topless.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That he does.
He shoots sniper rifles too. He visited some soldiers and shoots some sniper rifles. It's pretty cool.
I mean, take apart the fact that he's a maniacal crazy man.
Sometimes.
He's a badass. Like Putin's like the like if you're to look up badass, it's Putin.
Joe Biden fell asleep during an interview.
Putin's wrestling bears.
For real. What sort of sad state is this in? Let's talk about your muscles.
Okay.
Gina, go ahead.
Why me?
I don't know. I think you know him better than I do.
Well, we were just talking before the cameras were rolling that you put on some masks since the last time I saw you. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been actually trying to eat. I don't want to shrink up, and I end up getting I don't lose muscle. And I'm not on like some crazy steroid cycles. I know that's where the comments are going to go, and I'm okay with that. I've embraced it. I just have good genetics for muscle building. I have bad genetics for everything else. You see me play basketball. It's bad. But God gave me this one ability, and I managed to, use it. But what'll happen is if I stop eating as much as I should, I just get leaner. So I get to be in contest shape, and then I feel like crap. So I actually have to force feed.
Were you the guy that used the brown paint? Did you guys do that for the shows?
So you have to tan, because as you can tell, I'm extremely pale. That's the Ashkenazi part of my Judaism.
Right, I was about to say Israeli. No,
yeah,
you have good tan by now.
Very good tan.
Very good.
So yeah, you do get tanned up, and it's our own little, like, we were the original blackface.
You ever see pictures of like the guys at the shows of white guys? Have you ever seen this?
I could.
I'll pull it up for Gina. Hold on.
Well, you go on.
Okay, I'll put you on.
Like the before and after?
No, I'll just show you.
Yeah, show me.
What would I type? I just type muscle or.
You could just type any bodybuilder. I mean.
No, bodybuilder.
I mean, me on stage. I'm dark. Like,
when was your last competition?
So December 11th is when I won the USA's and I got my pro card.
That's right.
And I was getting ready for a pro show.
Wow, that was already December of last year.
Yeah, and I got skin cancer, so they had to cut out a part of my chest. Hence me being so pale. Tanning's not good for me.
Wow.
Gina, look at the screen. Okay, so this is Rich Piana.
Yes, yeah.
He's a white man, right?
Yeah.
That skin's pretty dark.
And he died of side effects of bodybuilding, but we'll go past that one.
Side effects of bodybuilding.
Steroids can be bad for you if you take a lot of them. And it's beyond the steroids. It's you get so big. Like, obese people die.
Yeah.
I know you're big on that. Mm-hmm. No pun intended. So basically, if you're 280 pounds, whether it's muscle or fat, strain on your heart. Steroid abuse can cause an increase in size of your left ventricle, which will cause backup, plaque buildup, all that good stuff in your heart. And there's a lot of bad things, kidney health, liver health, when you abuse steroids and you're big. So you're an obese person abusing a drug.
Right.
You're probably more likely to die. He was only 46 when he passed away.
Whoa.
46.
Was it a heart attack?
It was. So that's what caused, he passed out and hit his head. That's ultimately what killed him. But the reason, if you go back, why after his autopsy, like, dude wasn't in good health. We had another guy, Dallas McCarver, pass away. Again, like, they did the autopsy and their bodies were a mess. And that's why I tell people, whether you're a bodybuilder or whether you're just a person who wants to be healthy, getting routine blood work and getting that CAT scan, that CT scan on your heart to see your plaque buildup, do it. Do it every year. Even if your insurance doesn't cover it, you got to get your blood work checked, check your cholesterol, your metabolic panel, your lipid panel, check all of that stuff. Because look, man, I don't know what's happening, but people are dying of heart issues a lot lately.
Well, yeah.
And we can all point to whatever issue we think it is. But in the bodybuilding community, it's really come about lately where a lot of people are passing away. So what that does for me is it tells us as a society, we just need to be healthier. We need to be less fat. And we need to actually pay attention to our blood work. That means go to your doctor, get these tests done, and make sure that you're not dying.
It seems like the bodybuilding community in general would have less affinity for so is that, do you think there's any correlation between that, or is it just bodybuilders in general tend to have?
You hear about bodybuilders dying. John Meadows passed away. He had a genetic issue where he had other compounding factors to his death. Sean Roden, who was Mr. Olympia, Cedric McMillan, who won the Arnold. This has been a horrible last couple of years for bodybuilders. Our community has been reeling over the deaths. And a lot of those people didn't have the shot, and some of them did. What goes untalked about is there's a lot of European bodybuilders, not at the pro level, somebody you would not know about, I would not know about, who have had heart attacks and have had issues. And the one thing we know about Europe is a lot of people, a lot more than what we got here, got that. So if you're going to make a correlation, I would say that if you look at the soccer players falling down and dying or being sick and their careers ending, tennis players, we had college athletes who should not be dying. This never happened. What was his name? Gathers, Hank Gathers. Big deal. College basketball game, heavily recruited to go to the pros. Dies, congenital heart attack on the free throw line. What? That was in the 90s.
On the 90s.
But that was a big deal. Now, so many of these college and pro athletes are dying that we're not even talking about it. And for some reason, the media is not reporting on it. So there's something that has happened that is different than before. Did you ever hear about healthy young people keeling over dead? These are athletes. These are the elite of the elite of the healthy. And again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, but I've spent my entire adult life from 19 on in the health and fitness industry, formulating supplements and researching how the body works because I don't want people to die.
Yeah.
And the conclusion I came to is there's something that happened in the last 2 or 3 years that is causing athletes to die more frequently. And the data is there. There's plenty of data. So the question is, what is it?
Yeah.
You guys can draw your own conclusions depending on which side of unfortunately, it's become political. We can't talk about this, but everything I said in the beginning of 2020 has come true, unfortunately. And here we are.
Well, Gina, he said he's not a scientist or a doctor, but where would you rate him if you were to give him a degree, bachelor's, master's, PhD, whatever, in bro science?
I think he's got a PhD in bro science.
You give him a PhD?
Like Ajax.
Oh, Ajax. Okay,
yeah,
so we have three
I would say they both have PhDs.
Okay,
Alex
so
too.
Alex has a PhD, you have a PhD in bro science.
I think bro science, we got it right from the beginning. The only doctors, unfortunately, well, fortunately too, because a lot of them are my friends, who got this right from the beginning, chiropractors. If you look at the old videos, chiropractors got everything right. They were the ones who were dragged over the coals. They had their videos banned, demonetized. They were taken off of social media. The question is, in American history, social media or not, or Section 2, whatever it is, when have we ever silenced people for questioning things? And there's one time, that was Abraham Lincoln, when he shut down newspapers for disagreeing with him.
That's right.
Before the Civil War. People don't understand, Lincoln sucked.
He did.
Lincoln was a horrible president.
Dude, oh my God, you're like the first person who's ever said that on the show.
Because I'm a self-hating Jew. I'm an anti-Semitic Jew. That's what we do.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm self-hating Jew.
Self-hating anti-Semitic Jew.
That's awesome. People would say, how great Lincoln of a president. The dude invaded his own country. He jailed journalists for having dissenting opinions. He suspended habeas corpus, all these types of things, and people laud him.
Now, I am glad we don't have slavery anymore. I'd like to state that for the record. I don't think slavery is good.
I mean, I wouldn't mind having it, regardless of skin color. It'd be nice.
A little minion?
Yeah.
A little minion to do your bidding?
There you go.
That'd be so cool.
Anyway.
But that's why you have children.
Right.
Right? Like
yeah.
when they get old enough, you make them do the dishes. It's awesome.
I can't wait for that.
Smart.
Oh, yeah. Right now, you're at that stage where they don't do anything.
They don't do anything.
God.
I was a useless dad up until about 6. Because I'm not a cuddler. I'm a hugger, but I'm not a cuddler. And I have no empathy for pain. Like my kids would fall down. I'm like, rub some dirt on it. And now they're really tough. Yeah, my kids are probably going to need counseling. For a lot of counseling.
Do you have girls?
I have a 16-year-old daughter. She's actually I'm actually meeting her after this to do squats today.
She's a beast, Mike.
She's amazing.
Wait, is that the one who was doing the deadlifts?
That's Cammie. Yeah, Cammie's
watched it and I was like, oh.
And she's the sweetest girl, and she's an amazing human being. She's a good person. 14-year-old son who she plays soccer and she powerlifts. Both of my oldest kids have the state powerlifting records in every lift.
Dang.
My 14-year-old son is a wrestler, a boxer, and a soccer player.
Okay,
and
underachievers.
My 9-year-old plays football, soccer, and wrestling. So
9-year-old's a boy too?
9-year-old's a boy, yes.
Okay,
well, for now, he was what was
for
it?
Now.
I was filling out some paperwork for, and it said gender assigned at birth. I'm like, dude, he has a penis. They're boys. Like,
how do you feel about male circumcision?
Oh, good question.
So all my kids are circumcised, and just for the
Even
young
the girl?
ladies watching, I'm just kidding. So I'm circumcised. I wish I would have saved my foreskin. Would have been amazing to have at this point in my life. Make a keychain out of it, maybe a lampshade.
Yeah,
Problem
People
is,
save their uteruses now? The women save their uteruses?
In the jar.
In the jar?
They do that.
problem is, like, if you made it into a lampshade, every time it got cold, the lampshade would get smaller.
That's funny. You're funny.
But so I actually got attacked by I made a joke, which a lot of people don't know when I'm joking and I'm not, which is kind of me. But I made a joke about circumcision, like having an aerodynamic penis, kind of like a sports car. It's much more efficient through the wind. And have you ever gotten in a squabble with anti-circumcision Twitter? It's a world you don't.
I've seen
bet.
it. I've observed some of the arguments.
And honestly, right now, so I've known a guy who's actually just went for a swim in the ocean and his penis got infected because it got under his foreskin. So like, yeah, you gotta
To constantly clean it.
Yeah, and I constantly clean my penis, just for the record. But I'm kind of on the fence about circumcisions. We did it just because, same reason, I didn't even question. Like, my kids were born at that time. You just got your vaccinations. You don't question it. And my biggest regret as a parent, believe it or not, is not actually being a psychopath and telling my kids they're not injured, is not questioning or researching any of the they just got them all. They got the 20 shots in one, and I didn't question it. And there's a lot of vaccines on there that I would be like, maybe we should skip that one. Or maybe we should, it's kind of like when you go to, I love Cava. You ever go to Cava? It's my spot. It's kind of like,
Mediterranean.
I would like the pickles and the onions, but I don't want the cabbage salad. So I would like to be able to a la carte choose the vaccines I want. Like polio, I'm good with that one. Like smallpox, sounds great. But there's some of them that are like, why? So I didn't
Hep B.
Yeah.
I didn't have that thought. And now they're putting the C word. This is a different thing.
Say Crenshaw.
The Crenshaw.
We call it the Crenshaw.
Crenshaw?
That's
Yeah.
what we call it.
I dated a girl from Crenshaw once. That's another story.
Oh.
No.
So that you didn't put the Crenshaw, and when they're putting that on there, I think a lot of parents now are going to question what they're putting in our kids. And I'm not by any means just, slapping down the doctor who recommended them. But at that time, yeah, I mean, I don't think they knew any better at that time either. They go through school, they're indoctrinated into whatever vaccine science they're, sorry, is there a word for vaccine? I can say that.
Say Crenshaw.
Yeah, just Crenshaw.
Crenshaw covers both.
Crenshaw,
does?
it covers both.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish I would have, known more. But even up to 2020, I thought I was educated on stuff. It turns out I was as willfully ignorant as anybody.
Most people, though, I would say there are very few parents up until recently that even knew to question the Crenshaw schedule. And now it's much more common.
We would make fun of those people like, look at these hippies, or, they think it causes autism and stuff like that. And now it's totally different.
Well, I mean, our neighbors across the street, beautiful people. They have 2 highly autistic children, nonverbal, and their life is based around that. And it was directly from the Crenshaws.
Oh, that's so sad.
So yeah, it is because, and they're beautiful children, beautiful people, but to watch what they went through and to hear their story. And I do think that it's a severely small underlying class of people or group of people who are affected negatively, but it's bigger than we thought. And the first person to actually do an expose on it got a lot of flack was Cernovich.
Yeah.
Michael Cernovich got blasted as an anti-Crenshaw. I'm getting it. And this was back in 2018 or 2019. This is before I was even on Twitter, because he sent me some stuff and I'm like, wow, that's insane. So, and again, we just looked at them as lepers, we're just like, oh, those people are nuts. Conspiracy theorists, misinformation. We're living in one big psyop where if you state fact, you're stating misinformation. It's gone nuts, and it's brilliantly effective.
Yeah.
Because people come in, hey, I really don't think we should shut down the country. You're a racist. How does that even make sense? But then you have to defend yourself not being a racist. No, I have black friends. It's like, what?
I've got Jewish friends. I do have a Jewish friend.
I'll be your Jewish friend.
But the worst thing now is that you see a lot, like maybe your neighbor included too, you see a lot of moms, parents whose children have had serious Crenshaw injuries, like serious, and they're totally gaslit by doctors. It would be one thing for doctors to be like, oh, okay, well, maybe we were not fully educated on this because our textbooks at medical school were written by big pharma. And if they were like, well, let's look at these cases, but they're completely gaslighting all these parents whose kids have been seriously injured. And they're like, it's all in your head. It's not real. I mean, imagine being that mom whose child is now autistic because of the Crenshaw, and you have all these doctors telling you that you're crazy and it has nothing to do with it. Like, that would make me crazy. And another thing, I have a question. My mom has always asked this when I was a kid too, because I have a girl who's doing my weight loss challenge, and her daughter, no Crenshaws, and she has friends. She lives in Massachusetts. She has friends that won't let their children play with her daughter because she's not Crenshawed. If that is your stance, is that not an admission that your Crenshaw doesn't work? Like, if your Crenshaw works, why does it matter if your kid's friend doesn't have the Crenshaw? That's got to be a flat out admission.
It makes too much sense.
That it doesn't work at all, because then what's the point of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Excuse me. I completely agree 100%. We're at a point now, my daughter's 16, right? Like, that's when you start to look at career, if you want a family, what you want to do. And I'll say this out loud. I'll die on this hill. I will literally fight for my life. My kids will never get the current Crenshaw. They will never get that. I will fight to the death. So now my daughter, imagine dating, imagine wanting to start a family. And what I've heard from people who are smarter than me, which is basically everybody, but what I've heard from smart people is that this thing is passed down and it's going to affect the next generation. So it's going to affect the next born kid. So my daughter, literally, and it's hard enough to find a good man. Now she has to find a man who doesn't have the Crenshaw.
With pure blood.
So she has to do that. And my daughter, like, she wants a man who trains legs. I'm like, that eliminates 99.9% of the population.
Sadly.
She's going to have to be gay. I'm just playing. She plays soccer. She's halfway there.
So wait, your daughter is saying,
Can't be
or you
listening
think
to
your
him.
daughter's gonna have a hard time finding guys?
Horrible time.
So listen, I have a men's group. Funny enough, you look at me like this guy with the men's group.
No, men's groups cover all men.
Yeah, I have a
You're
man. Yeah, I am.
I can tell you have a beard.
Thank you. It grows well. No patches. If you guys have patchy beards,
beard.
do something about it. Thank you very
My
much.
beard's, that's why I do this. It's all, so it gets all straggly.
I went to the gun store last week because I had to get something. I can't remember what it was. I think it was a stock. So I said,
Pumpkin.
I said, hey, do you guys have this? And the guy was like, damn, what group you're in? And I was wearing a Special Forces hat. My buddy's in Special Forces deployed right now. And I was like, oh no, my buddy's in 5th group. He's like, damn, you got a good operator beard. I wish mine grew like that. And I was like, I mean, you got a great beard too. And in my head, I was like, nah, it's really patchy. Do something. He was like, I'll put oils in it. I was like, don't do that. Don't put oil in your beard.
No
It
oils?
clogs the pores. You don't want it sucks because especially beards with my type of hair, my hair is feel it. It's the toughest hair, the thickest
That
hair.
is very, very coarse.
Thick, right? It's very coarse.
Yeah,
so when
that's
it
the
grows out of my face, it tends to become a little bit more dry. So you tell you guys, don't clog up your pores with oils. But anyway, my men's group I formed it because of this show. And a lot of guys were saying, and we've covered this plenty of times, a lot of guys are saying they're finding a harder time finding women who are Christian. Nothing you can do about that as a Jewish dad, but conservative. So do you think it's just hard both ways?
Well, I mean, the good news is we live in Williamson County. There's a lot of people with our mindset, like, and I coach high school athletes. And the last thing, I'm not in there. I don't talk about. They're pumpkining out. So we got the Basic Girl bar going on here.
I feel like the Basic
Michael
Bitch.
Knowles would love this bar.
It's
Michael
a seasonal
Knowles would
bar.
love it.
It's just here for autumn. But anyway, it's the pumpkin pie outright bar. It's awesome.
I love the texture.
Yeah, it's seasonal, and the good news is if you buy it, it's going to be fresh. They literally came off the line last week, and
that's good.
Yeah. It's a whole food bar. It's a different feel because protein bars are protein bars, which are awesome. But again, it's prebiotic fiber glycerin. This is based on a nut butter
soft. It's dense though airy.
Cloud-like.
Cloud-like.
I'm going to use that. I'm stealing that.
Oh, you got to pay me a license. My Jewishness works well in that way.
So good news is
Not
in
Jewish,
Williamson
I'm Catholic.
County. Yeah, we'll go with that. Well, I mean, I have some Catholicism in my family, even though.
Yeah, but you're not a Catholic.
No, I can't do the repenting. And Jews don't believe in hell. It's like a get out of jail free card.
Wait, they don't?
They don't.
Oh, no, you didn't know that?
I never
I
understood.
didn't know that.
I don't understand it. I asked a rabbi, I'm like, so what happens if we're bad? Well, just don't be bad. I'm like, but that doesn't answer my question.
Well, here's the problems with Jews in general. Here's the problem with Judaism.
They own Hollywood.
So-
They're cheap.
you know this, right? So Jews, especially like Orthodox Jews, they don't, like we Christians and Catholics, Orthodox, they don't draw from the Bible, right? The Torah, the first 5 books of the Old Testament, what is it? Genesis, Exodus, Deuteronomy, Numbers, and Leviticus, right? The Jews draw from the Talmud. And the Talmud is just this extensive volumes of rabbinical interpretation of the Torah. So I think very little of Jewish religion preaching is based out of the literal Torah, right? It's pretty much, for the most part, the Talmudic.
I would say so. And Jews are big on heritage. Like if you go to a Jewish wedding, they're not talking about God. They're talking about like, hey, we were lost in the desert for 25 years looking for a quarter. I don't know if that's exactly what they say, but from the Jewish weddings, they're really fun though. They break glasses.
What's that all about again?
The breaking glass?
Yeah, what is that about?
It's just a ceremony where you're basically like, hey, you're married. You're his now. Do your thing.
Mazel tov.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of, and there's the hora where you and hopefully it's not a big girl in the chair. And that's
like
tough, man.
10
That's
dudes.
tough.
Have you seen a big girl hora?
I've never. It's usually Jewish American princesses. They're smaller.
Yeah, I don't see many
Japs.
fat Jewish girls.
Yeah, unless they're liberals on Twitter, then they're huge.
No, actually, yeah. I've
there's
seen a
lot.
couple of fat Jewish blue
blue
check
checks,
marks.
yeah.
Yeah, the blue check marks.
How do you
for
feel
sure.
about the Hasids?
I mean, honestly, after the Crenshaw thing in New York, and they gangstered out. And they can't fight. Jews can't fight. Like we used to be good boxers. We lost all those skills. But the Jews were
Krav
the
Maga,
one.
my guy.
What?
Krav Maga.
Krav Maga. Oh yeah, they can fight in Israel, but Americanized Jews can't fight.
The Israelis are tough.
The Israelis,
man.
dude, my mom was badass. Like she was a paratrooper, jumping out of airplanes, slitting throats. Like I got some stories.
She slit throats?
Oh, she was an assassin. My mom's badass. That's why she's nuts.
Where does she live now?
She lives in Michigan, so stay away. She's just a sweet
Oh
old
yeah, I
Jewish
remember
lady.
you told me your mom was nuts.
Sweet little Jewish lady. Just what a history. Came over here, worked 2 jobs, learned 5 languages. But again, like drug abuse, which you'll get after you kill people.
Yeah.
And just pain and everything. Like life
Trauma, real trauma.
Sometimes life just works against you.
Was she involved in 67 or was she in the 70s? 67?
Yeah, she was involved in some war. So she did her thing.
Whoa.
So yeah, the stories were amazing. But back to Hasids, like they stood by and they were, you talk about these same people standing with Jews. Where were they when Jews were trying to hold services in New York during Crenshaw? That's the problem. The problem is these people, they're opportunists and they're horrible, horrible demonic people. The left has become.
Are you still talking about Jews?
Only the ones Kanye is talking about. Now we do have. Now here's my theory. I know this is a little. I kind of bounce place. My mind works like this.
This is you're welcome here on this show.
Oh well, that's
you can say whatever.
Yeah.
I'm keeping my curse words down. I'm doing great. Yesterday I looked. I'm like, dude, I cursed too much. It was on my own.
Oh yeah, no cursing. Yeah, we try to limit that, but
I've been very good so far.
Thoughts.
I said badass, but ass
That's
is
fine.
okay.
That's fine.
Here's the thing about the Jews have the highest IQ of any group of people. Jews are very smart. So like I said earlier, there's evil in
Higher than the East Asians?
Right now.
I believe so.
Really? Then can you look it up?
Yes, I'll look it up while you're talking.
Fact check me on that.
Ask the Jews about the Jews' IQ.
Yeah.
Because that's who you're going to ask when you, ask Google.
I'm going to tell myself that that Jews are the smartest. But not so when you have, let's say if you have an evil person who happens to be Jewish, who happens to be, Latino, or who happens to be white or whatever, Anglo-Saxon, whatever it is, if you're really smart, you're going to make like a super evil person, right? It's like George Soros. No one's saying he's dumb.
Right.
But I think we'd all agree that he's evil.
Like Hitler wasn't dumb.
No, Hitler was a great speaker. If you ever want to learn about public speaking, watch Hitler videos. I know that sounds weird, but dude would captivate a crowd. His hand movements, everything was on point. So basically, if you have really smart people, they make really good evil people. And so you got your George Soros, Epstein, Weinstein. Seems like everybody who's done something really bad has had a Steen at the end of his name. Think about it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
wow.
this
Yeah.
is just
Bill Gates
let me
Steen.
put this on. Let me just put this on the screen
Bill
here.
Gatestein.
So this is just from PubMed. Intelligence
Whoa, there's
differences
Oriental
between
Jews?
European and
Yeah, hold
Oriental
on.
Jews in Israel. A number of studies have found that Ashkenazi Jews in the United States have a high average IQ. It has been proposed by Cochran, Hardy, and Harpending, 2006, that this can be explained by the occupational constraints imposed on the Ashkenazi for many centuries in Europe when they were largely confined to money lending. They propose that this selected for the high verbal and mathematical intelligence that has several times been found in American Ashkenazism.
Which is why we still are involved heavily in lending. It's kind of our thing. It's kind of what we do. So there is, again, it's an amazing thing. I love my heritage. That's why, I remember when people were like, remember during the whole Summer of Love, when white people were apologizing for their skin color. I'm not apologizing. Nobody should apologize for your heritage. I don't care if you're German, Irish. You should be proud of your heritage. And obviously all races and religions, they all have their negatives, but you should be proud of what you are, of who you are, of your ancestors who made it so you can be here right now, however they got to this wonderful country. That's why I was never I'm not appalled. My mom's side didn't get here till like the 70s. We didn't own slaves, and my dad's side was poor. They were dumb. They were horse thieves. So I mean, seriously, I think my great-grandfather was a horse thief, if I'm not mistaken. I know someone's going to fact check me on that. I know that liberal woman who wrote that article about me in Nashville Times or whatever it was.
But now I got to look that up.
Yeah, if you
it was
Google
in the
my
Nashville
name,
Times.
Nashville something. Yeah, but she went in, bro.
Did she reach out to you for comment?
No, she didn't. She just said that I'm an anti-Semitic, anti-vax Jew.
Why?
Anti-Jew.
Oh, hold on. Is it written by
here it
someone
is.
named
That's it,
the
Nashville
National
Scene.
Scene, Betsy Phillips?
Yeah.
Can I read
I would
this?
love to debate
Look
her.
at the headline. This Brentwood anti-vax fitness guy loves calling people Nazis.
And I do. I've earned the word Nazi as my N-word. I will use Nazi as much as I want. I will give you permission to use the N-word.
Okay, so I'll read it as we're scrolling down, just a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Betsy Phillips. Oh, Betsy.
She sounds like a
On Saturday afternoon, Brentwood fitness expert Marc
Wanna guess her
Lobliner
BMI?
decided to ring in the new year by accusing multiple Jewish people and the Auschwitz Museum of being the real Nazis because they objected to calling him the Illinois Holocaust Museum a bunch of Nazis. He's since deleted the tweet. Did you delete the tweet?
I don't believe I did.
Says you did.
Twitter took it down.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't believe I
Lobliner, who has
deleted it.
repeatedly said the Crenshaw mandates are Nazi-like, has quite the resume. According to his website, he's the chief marketing officer at, do you want me to say your website?
Yeah, of course.
Tigerfitness.com.
I will stand by that comment. Anybody who mandated the Crenshaw is a Nazi, period. I don't care. I'll die on that hill. You do not mandate an experimental Crenshaw. Period.
I looked to see if he spoke to the Jewish Community Center about his family's history, but I couldn't find anything. I searched for any previous speaking engagements during Holocaust Remembrance Observance. So in order for you to comment about the Holocaust, you've had to go to the Holocaust Museum or speak at a remembrance service? Like, What is that all about?
And for the record, when I was a kid who lived near the Holocaust Museum in Los Angeles, I never went because I was always fearful that I'd see one of my relatives and it would drive me nuts. So that's why I never went. But again, like pretend I'm not Jewish. I still think they're Nazis. And I will call them Nazis and I will die on that hill. I will be canceled till the day I die. Because if you mandate somebody inject an experimental therapy into their body, sorry, we're not going to get along.
It's not even an actual V word. It's not a real Crenshaw. Like they've changed the definition of what a Crenshaw is.
Yes. And I remember I told my wife, and it was like, remember when Trump came out and said, I'm hoping to open up by Easter. And I'm like, awesome. And I hope they get this Crenshaw.
Where's Trump from? You gave him a Southern accent.
Dude, I cannot do accents. I do not do impersonations.
I thought you would be good at
horrible. I could just do Joe Weider because I worked for him. But nobody will know that unless you're in the bodybuilding world.
Wait, so this woman's kind of, she's like tracking down your mom?
Can we get a photo of this woman?
Well, I don't know, but she's saying that her position is that you're lying about who your family is, I guess.
And I mean, if I'm lying, that means I was lied to, because that's all I know. But my father's side, no, they were from here for a while.
She says you shouldn't repeat it if you don't know it.
I'll repeat whatever I want. Yeah. That's the thing, is that I'm in America, I'm free to be stupid. I can say stupid things, and I say a lot of stupid things. And that's the beauty of free speech, even if it's uncomfortable. But is anybody out there right now?
Is that actually her?
Oh my God, I was right about the BMI.
Did you see the?
Oh my gosh.
Dude, she's.
Oh no. Is this who it is, you think?
Oh.
Is that it?
My gosh.
Yep, that looks about right.
That's who I'm seeing.
You know, I'm about to get a smash piece written on me in Nashville. She's about to cancel me. She's about to call all her really large friends.
Well,
it's
we
gotta
need to
be
make
her.
sure that that's her, though.
Okay, I'm seeing Betsy Phillips, Historic Nashville Inc.
That has to be her.
Oh, yeah. You're seeing this picture. Right?
That's a sexy artistic picture.
Wow. Look at the sepia filter.
Sepia. Nice.
Is that what it is?
Sepia.
Yeah. I mean,
sepia. I say sepia. Some people say sepia.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to say I'm not fat shaming by any means, but I was very correct about the BMI.
I'm just good. Can we talk about fat shaming for a second? And I don't mean this to be a troll. I don't mean this to be.
That's kind of your thing, though, now.
I do enjoy trolling.
I watch your clips. My wife will literally pull up. Look what Gina said today.
Honestly,
Tim Dillon does the same thing.
Yes.
Honestly, sometimes I say things, I put stuff online, and then I see all of the comments, and when I said it, I did not think that it was that controversial, and then I'm told later that it is. But here's my thing about fat shaming, and I mean this. You probably saw the whole Sydney Watson thing. Did you see that?
Yeah, on the plane.
So,
well, I mean, have you ever sat between two fat people on a plane?
Oh, I've sat next to one, and it was miserable enough. But shame is actually a very useful tool in the human experience.
Being a Catholic.
Shame. No, but seriously, shame and guilt are very useful tools. They indicate that you have done something that's wrong, that you have partook. What's the past?
Partaken.
It indicates you have partaken in behavior that is degenerate, perhaps. Yeah. So, for example, if someone is slut shamed, I'm sorry, but women should not be just giving their bodies away to random dudes on the internet, to random dudes they meet on the street. Selling feet pics, posting your booty online, whether or not you get paid for it. That is degenerate behavior by definition. So perhaps we should bring back a little bit of slut shaming. Fat shaming? Being morbidly obese, being over 300 pounds and eating yourself to death, that is degenerate behavior. And I don't care, people are like, well, it doesn't really affect you, people do. Well, actually, it does affect our society. And if you look at it from a Burkean perspective, which we usually do on this show, society is a living organism. And when you let one section of society just decay away and kill themselves through food and lazy behavior, that's going to affect society as a whole. So maybe we should bring back fat shaming. Maybe people should feel shame for being morbidly obese and putting so much strain on our medical system and making nice people like Sydney Watson feel uncomfortable on a flight.
Well, the short you did about Lizzo, a lot of people didn't like that because they felt that you were fat shaming Lizzo by calling her a freak, like a circus freak. Remember? that one.
Okay, guys, I was like,
Yes.
with Lizzo, what we see today, like if you look at circus photos from 100 years ago, the fattest woman in the world was probably even smaller than Lizzo.
Correct.
At least the same size. And people are offended by that. Like it's a freak thing to be morbidly obese. I'm not going to apologize for that. We need to acknowledge that, because if we acknowledge that, maybe not so many people will be morbidly obese. I keep interrupting.
Well, people are also offended at another short that we put out that was taken from Alex's show when you called women inherently lazy. They didn't like that.
Oh, are they? Well, look, I mean, this is an Andrew Tate thing, and hopefully we would interview him. I was saying on a last episode, so in Andrew Tate's interview with Full Send, he said that women are inherently lazy. And that is, of course, a politically incorrect way to say something that I actually agree with him on. Women, general personality traits, women do not have the same desire to conquer that men have. Right? Mm-hmm. Women are just not naturally born with this desire to conquer the world, right? All of the best discoveries on this planet have been done by men, right? All of the best inventions, 99% of them, 99.9% of them have been done by men, right? Land has been discovered by men. There is an inherent desire for men to conquer the world. That's what makes men amazing. That makes them protectors and makes them providers. And women generally have an inherent desire to do what?
Nurture.
To nurture, to have babies, to take care of wounded soldiers, to take care of wounded animals and kids. I don't understand how that's offensive. And yeah, sure, it may be a little
projection.
It may be a little bit mean to say that women are inherently lazy, but I mean, Tate did bring up a good point.
Yeah, some woman said, she was like, well, my daughter, she's not inherently lazy because she fixed problems that the white man makes, yet the white man still gets paid more than her. And I said, what? Why would you make that comment? What does that mean?
She only made 85 cents to the dollar that the white man does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great accent.
I was just about to say, it was horrible accent.
You know, if now I actually listen to Tate, because my son was listening to him, my 14-year-old, and I'm like, I want to know what this guy's about. And I actually kind of agree with a majority, if not all of what he says that I've listened to, which admittedly isn't everything. There's something men have that's called testosterone. Men are inherently, throughout history, if you put men and women together, men end up doing the hunting and they end up doing the fighting. Throughout history, you never hear about, that war where the women just got together, the Civil War, when all these women died in the Battle of Franklin. Like, that doesn't happen. So there is a natural difference. I'd like to go back to obesity. I'm a little bit different. Not different, but just different outlook. I don't want people to die. And the number one comorbidity of everything beyond smoking, smokers are more likely to die when they're fat.
Yes.
Like, bottom line is obesity is killing people. It is making people enjoy their life less. I was at a soccer tournament in Gatlinburg with my son. We got this hotel with the team, had an indoor water slide, and I'm not, again, a lot of dads are just having fun doing their thing, but all the other dads are just, eating pizza, drinking beer. I'm going on the water slide with the kids. I want everybody in this world to experience life the way I'm experiencing life, because I crush it. Like, this ain't a front. I crush life. I wake up every morning. I work multiple hours a day. I get my stuff done. And a lot of people can't do it because they're just not in the shape to do it. You have someone who is morbidly obese, who doesn't work out, who doesn't train. First of all, you look in the mirror, that has to bring you down. I look in the mirror, I'm like, what's up? I'm like,
what's up?
I look way better than I thought I'd ever look in my life. At 42 years old, I look better than I ever imagined looking. It took me till I was 41 to realize having an IFBB Pro card. And I worked my butt off for it. And you don't have to be an IFBB Pro. You don't even have to be muscular.
You've been working out for only a year?
Yeah. You have.
Look up his before picture, by the way.
Simply not being fat is a life hack. It is a life hack because you're surrounded by, after the great fattening of 2020, as my buddy Alan Roberts puts it, the great fattening of 2020. I guarantee you our obesity rate is 60, 70, 100%. It's so high right now.
It's way through the roof.
It's insane. So I've been fat before, but I was an athletic fat. I was fat for football. I was purposely fat. American football for Europeans. By the way, we stole your name. There's nothing you can do about it.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, what are you going to do? 1776. So at the end of the day, I want everybody to prosper and live and be around to watch your kids get married, to watch your kids have kids.
Yeah.
And you're not going to do it if you're fat, or you're very unlikely. You might have those genetics but if you go to a nursing home, you rarely ever see tall, fat people.
That's right.
And look, I know well, the comments can be like, you're going to die early being a big bodybuilder. I've definitely taken years off my life being this big. Absolutely. I know I'm doing it though. And that's the thing about fat shaming, right? Fat shaming is stating the truth. You're unhealthy. If you want to be that way, you do you. But let's not lie to people and tell them that you can be healthy at any size, because that is an outright lie that kills people. That is a lie that will kill people. And they're doing it in schools now. You see that video with LAUSD?
That's right.
That all foods are healthy. Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is what really upsets me is that they come at us as if we're the mean ones. We're the mean ones for pointing out that obesity is the leading cause of death in this country. We're the mean ones because we want people to live a good life. We're the mean ones because we point out that, hey, being obese is not only going to make you physically unhealthy, but it's going to affect your mental health. It's going to affect your relationships. You're not going to be able to enjoy anything you do in life if you're morbidly obese. We're the mean ones. You have people who are literally lying to women through digital media, through Hollywood, through all the mainstream machines. They're lying to people and telling them that there's nothing wrong with being obese. And even more than that, it's beautiful, it's virtuous, and cosmopolitan cover. We can throw it up. I'll show you the picture. It literally says this is healthy. But we're the mean ones because we talk about the actual effects of obesity. And yet they're allowed to just lie to everyone and say that obesity is really, it's a beautiful thing. You should embrace your body. You're perfect just the way that you are. And yet we're the mean ones. I don't get that. I mean, you have these digital media companies that are making millions of dollars off of all the clicks and views that they generate for all this body positive content to lie to women and cater to women's insecurities to tell them that their obesity is a virtuous thing.
Is that healthy?
But yeah, we're the mean ones.
Is that healthy?
This is it.
It's all about money though. That's what it comes down to, because
Mark?
No, that's not healthy.
Could
now,
she live to 90?
It's very unlikely she will live past 70.
Keep it up. I want to say something about this girl. Her name is Jessamine Stanley. Back when I was in digital media, obviously like leftist digital media for all these, I worked for multiple media companies that were direct competitors of the Cosmopolitan. I interviewed Jessamine. She's a really nice girl. And I know that she was into yoga for a long time, but I feel so bad for her because they have taken her and they've made her this token to push their very carefully manufactured body positive message to enable women to live unhealthy lives. I feel bad for her because she has good intentions. Like Jessamine's actually every time I interviewed her, she's very kind. She loves yoga and she's like really wants women to live a happy life. But they have taken her and instead of telling her, hey, you know what? I think you have really good intentions and I love that you love yoga. Why don't we help you improve your health? Instead of actually helping her, they're propping her up. They're making her out to be a token so they can make millions and millions of dollars. But yeah, we're the mean ones.
What happens if she says I am healthy? Is that a delusion, do you think? Is that just like a delusion we think she has just because of, how, let's say, quote unquote, big she is? Or is she objectively unhealthy?
Objectively, she has the number one comorbidity at an extreme. Mm-hmm. She is morbidly obese. So is she in today's society, she's probably, because she's active, she's probably on the upper 50% of health. I mean, our society is that bad. Look at during the Crenshaw lockdowns. They shut down gyms, yet they were delivering alcohol to people's house. Governor Greg Abbott, as much as he did right, he was bragging about it. We're going to continue. Was that a good?
That's Southern? Fine, yeah.
We're going to continue to ship alcohol to people's house. We're going to keep this going forever. I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, so not only are you keeping people from being active, locking them down in their house, making them cover their face,
ship people stretch bands or something.
But you're literally sending them something that will also aid in killing them.
Yeah.
So again, we did everything wrong.
You get hamburgers if you get the Crenshaw. Not Mike Bloomberg. Who's the guy after him?
De Blasio.
De Blasio, whose real name is, he's Jewish.
Again,
really.
I blame the Jews.
No, but the same dude who's telling you, if you get the Crenshaw Shake Shack, free hamburger.
And he was eating fries, so cringy.
Yeah, so cringy.
Yeah, and the way that he ate the burger was just creepy.
Nobody eats a burger like that.
He's like, this is, it was disgusting.
Yeah. You looked really Asian when you did that.
Yeah. I'm not going to go. That's.
Really?
Yeah, it's one of those things where
Asians aren't powerful. They don't. Unless you're in China.
Yeah. Then they're really powerful.
Then they're really powerful.
We have
they don't
a really
have too much
high
power over
median income.
Very high.
Very high. So you can make fun of us all
so
you want.
So do Nigerians.
Not as high as Asians.
Well, but they do those cool emails where you get the $10,000 to release $1 million.
Those are Nigerians. Nigerians. We're talking about
Nigerians.
Immigrants.
So African Americans, like Elon Musk.
Literals, yes.
See, this is why people always forget. This is very important to point out. When you separate American-born Black individuals and Black immigrants, they are like two completely unrelated demographics, totally unrelated. Even Black immigrants down to their marriage rate, their divorce rate, how many college degrees they get, their median income. Also, even down to their spending habits, how much money they pay for their hair, how much they have in car payments, how much money they pay for nails and shoes and extracurricular activities. Like they're totally different. So they do have a higher median income, but it's definitely not as high as Asians.
Not compared to the Asians.
Not the Indians or
what Asian? What Asian demographic specifically is the highest?
Indian.
Is it Chinese?
Indian.
Oh, it is Indian.
Indians very
crush
high.
it.
They crush it because they're all engineers.
Awesome. Are they in the
autists.
gym though?
They're all autist engineers.
Are they in the gym?
So
I guess some Sikhs probably have to be in the gym.
Indians do go to the gym, I think, as much as any culture. They just have really bad genetics, and a lot of them are vegetarians, so it's hard to get enough calories in. It's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, India has a very budding bodybuilding culture. But back to your point, the problem is in America, you talk about Americans versus immigrants. Immigrants start more businesses, and they appreciate what we have here more. And you look at how the Latino vote, Latinx vote. Latinx. Which, if I said that to a Mexican person, they'd punch me right in the face. There's not one Mexican who calls themselves Latinx.
Genderless.
Come on. Like the whole entire language is based on masculino and feminino.
Latine now. Latine with an E.
No.
It's Latine.
Is that a thing?
It's a thing. I can look it up.
But you look at how Latinos are now moving more to the right. You look at DeSantis taking Miami-Dade most likely. Like it's because they realize, wait a second, this ain't going to work for us. And a lot of these people have come here. They're not first generation, or they did it legally. They're like, wait a second, how do they get a free pass? We had to spend like $80,000 and take all these classes at community college to get our thing, and they're just going to let them in.
Yeah.
I mean, that would piss me off. That's like student loan forgiveness. Sorry to open up that box, but dude, like my wife and I scraped by for a couple years to make sure that we paid off all of our loans. We did everything right. Now they're going to give people who, I'm not going to call out anybody by name. I have a neighbor, lives in a $2.4 million house.
Your left side or your right side neighbor?
In the neighborhood, not my immediate neighbor, who are very good doctors, by the way. That's the neighborhood I live in. If I ever have a heart attack, I can just go next door. And so anyway, actually the woman who operated, the dermatologist who operated on my chest, that was my neighbor. Lived in my neighborhood. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really awesome. Like we have a whole, Vanderbilt lives in my area. So we are Vandy. So anyway, he, whatever it is, I'm not going to give out names, but so these people, 44 years old, putting in a $400,000 pool and still have student debt. I am funding people like her.
They are putting in a $400,000 pool and they still have student debt?
Yes.
This is why people should not vote. Abolish universal voting privileges today.
I agree.
We got the shirt.
That person's vote counts just as much as yours does. I'm just so...
Why should someone who reads up on, I'm going to go early vote probably on Friday. And I'm looking at it and I'm literally researching every issue. Yet some dumbass who goes around with somebody canvassing places this, I'll vote for this guy. And my vote is canceled out by that idiot. That's the problem with uninformed voting, and that's what we saw in 2020. And I'm not saying that the person in office didn't win. I'm saying that the way they garnered votes was sus. Very suspect. Yeah, that's a good shirt.
Most votes in history. Oh yeah, you do like that shirt.
I love it.
Don't vote, please. All of you, stop voting. Stop.
I might change it looks pink on the screen, but it's not. It
looks red to
me. Looks red to me. I'm colorblind-ish though.
That's not me.
That is you.
I mean, that's not the shirt.
Yeah. Maybe because the light's in my eye. I don't know.
It's red. It's got to be the light in your eye.
Okay.
100% though, but you have, if you basically pander to the low information voters, like I remember that guy who's like, remember they were in front of Trump Tower, Trump needs to go to prison. Someone up and say, for what crimes? There's no answer. Nobody knows what the hell they're protesting.
You know what he did. That's what they all say. You know what he did.
You know what I love? They say, There's just too many things to list. So all the things he's done.
give me
Okay,
two.
so yeah, just one. Give me one. They can't.
Just give me something that can be the least bit incriminating. Look, I'm not a Trump fan. I'd vote for him over any Democrat right now. But at the end of the day, man, like the guy didn't really commit any crimes other than for just being kind of a jerk. Like that's pretty much that, but that's his sting. Have you ever watched his reality show? Like he's literally a professional jerk, became president, has some really good policies, was weak on some things, good on others, but he's the best we got right now by a mile.
It's very
Great
weird.
comedian.
Joe Biden said something about MAGA inflation. He said, the Republicans, hey, Jack, if you elect a Republican, you're going to have MAGA inflation. It's like, well, we didn't really have that until you came into office and your administration started implementing these policies. I definitely would go back to some MAGA inflation. If you mean like gas was like $2.25, $2.50 a gallon. Stocks were looking good. People will say, well, presidents don't have anything to do with those sorts of things. I think they influence them.
They literally put together executive orders. We don't vote on things anymore.
Right.
And he has Congress and he has the House and the Senate, yet everything's just this executive order. This executive order. The next guy comes in and he cancels those out and new executive order. It's like...
Executive orders and mandates are ridiculous.
The mandates are the things that just are completely un-American. I will never... Again, like I said about the Illinois Holocaust Museum, they love me, look, dude, yes, you're doing Nazi stuff. And if you don't see that, unfortunately, look at areas like New York, heavy Jewish population. The Americanized Jews vote Democrat, heavily Democrat, for a culture that is so based on persevering and hard work and coming out of really bad situations. It's just amazing how the Jewish vote is... It's kind of like the black vote was and is kind of leaning the other way now. You have a big, what is it, Blexit? That Candace calls?
Yeah.
So you have a big exodus, right?
Is it victim mentality?
I think that there's a little bit of elitism with Democrat voters. Like, the peasants need this. And they don't care because they have enough money to skate around tax or they just don't care or they're uneducated. Or maybe their friends just tell them, if you don't vote Democrat, you're a Nazi. Like it's easy to influence stupid people. And unfortunately, the voting constituency has a lot of uninformed people. My problem is I question things. I was that kid who got in trouble in elementary school. There's aliens. There's aliens. The teacher would be like, there's no aliens. I'm like, there's aliens. There's like Area 57, all this stuff. And they're like, go sit in the corner. There's no aliens. 2020, the government admits there's aliens. They're like, there's aliens. And I'm like, I wish I'd go back and slap that teacher in the face because I'm that guy who's like, wait, there's aliens. I always question things. And that's the most American thing you could do is question. The whole entire country, the Second Amendment is based on, you guys got too much power. People conflate the Second Amendment with hunting or self-protection. It's about more than that. Second Amendment prevents us from going through look at what Australia did. They literally had compounds for people with Crenshaw. They had internment camps for people with a cold.
Yeah.
Literally a cold. It's a cold virus.
America is no much better. Americans were fired because they wouldn't get Crenshaws.
Did you see the New York City?
Yes.
Yeah.
The New York State Supreme Court reversed the decision and now will have employees who are state employees only, or does it apply to anyone?
Let me look that up.
I'm not sure the
Just
intricacies.
employees will get reinstated in back pay.
Yeah, essentially they got free vacation time.
Right.
That's awesome. Now that is how this is going to be won is in the courts. And if there's one thing that Trump and McConnell have done correctly, it's they have the Supreme Court. So if anything gets up to the Supreme Court, there's a good chance that freedom will prevail. And I know the left hates Clarence Thomas, but he's the best thing we have right now. Clarence Thomas has done everything, and he votes not along party lines. There was a vote last week that he was a no on.
Really?
That actually passed. That was big for something. And he was one of the no's because he's a constructionist. He follows the Constitution. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about his popularity. He follows the Constitution. And somehow he's a white supremacist now.
Okay, so I think it's city workers.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. They're not going to be private workers.
So this is...
More than 1,750 city workers were fired.
city workers, you said.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, so they're mad at Thomas for that one.
This is U.S. Supreme Court's Thomas temporarily blocks Graham election case testimony. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas on Monday temporarily blocked a judge's order requiring Senator Lindsey Graham to testify to a grand jury in Georgia in a criminal investigation. Thomas put the case on hold pending further action. Was this the case?
No, there's another one where it actually won. It was voted on. It wasn't just a block. And I know Clarence was one of the he was one of the nays. I'm not sure what it was, but what I'm getting at is he's one of the few who actually looks at it from a principled situation and doesn't let feelings get involved. You look at, Sotomayor, like I think she actually votes on her interpretation of what the country should be, not on what the founders intended it to be. Mm-hmm. So that's the problem. Then you got one Supreme Court justice who doesn't even know how to define a woman.
Oh my gosh.
Just answer it to be like, oh, yeah, I can't define a woman.
Ketanji Brown Jackson. Did I send you the clip of Nick talking about Ketanji? No, Nick went off on this rant. He's like, we used to be a serious country that had people with serious names. And now you have this Ketanji woman on the Supreme Court. It was just a great Nick moment. It would have been a perfect Nicholas J. Fuentes out of context clip, but that got wiped from the internet because of the
Sitios.
So much freedom that and then you got Alex Jones sued for
$1 billion.
No, $1 trillion. They might try to get $1 trillion.
It's 2.7 fights, more than like most
$2 trillion extra.
He'd be like the biggest, the third largest country in the world.
Yeah,
like it's insanity. But I have no doubt that thing's going to get turned on appeal.
I would hope so.
His court case. It's a horrible precedent because he didn't incite. He just said words.
Right.
And we can't start fining people for speech. Again, like someone call out, and you might want to call me the K word. Rhymes with kite, but it has a K in it. And I'm like, well, that sucks. That's very mean of you. But all right, bro, there you go.
Yeah, I get called chink all the time.
I said it once in anger.
Oh, that's not good if you say it in
to me or behind my back.
The K word. No, not to you.
Talking about a chink.
Yeah. I'd say it to your face. I would.
No, but I mean, look, words. Again, whatever happened to sticks and stones will break my bones. Like, look, words should not. Again, unless we're pretty clear about First Amendment, like it has to be incitement.
Yeah.
And there was nothing inciting about Alex Jones. He said some things that weren't.
What were the exact things that, honestly, what were the exact things that he said? I mean, I know that people like to say that he said Sandy Hook was a hoax.
The thing was false flag. The thing was a hoax. That I don't think was the case. What I think their strongest part of the case is that he was making money off of saying that it was a hoax, and that followers and fans of his were going harassing the parents and stuff like that. That's what I think their case was.
But unless he incites it, like if, for instance,
unless he says go to their houses, harass them, bully them,
like
say it was fake.
Maxine Waters literally told people to get up in conservative faces, and I'm like, God, I wish someone would do that to me
at the gas pump.
So that's the reason. So they had that big rally, Matt Walsh's thing in Nashville.
I was there.
And I get asked why I don't go to those things. Because if one of those Antifa came up and yelled in my face, I can't guarantee that I'm not going to knock that little bitch out.
Well, we saw a guy get pushed down because he spit on an older guy with a sign. So we saw that at the end of our video. If you go back and watch it, we show it.
Which side was the pusher on? Was he on the right?
The pusher was us.
Okay, so
the pusher?
Some old guy.
Oh.
So my problem is, I have a certain level where I abstain. I don't go to bars. I don't go anywhere where there might be a fight because I keep
anger
myself.
Management issues.
I used to. When I was a kid, I absolutely did. Absolutely did. And I'm over that. I've been in a fight outside of a boxing ring since I was 16 years old. I'm not like most dudes have, like, I was at the soccer field. I'm like, no, I avoid conflict.
Yeah.
But, I'm a guy who's pretty big. I'm not a pro boxer by any means, but I boxed very seriously for 5 years. If I land an overhand right to an Antifa protester, 100%. He's dead. I'm either going to break his face or his head's going to hit the ground. And I don't need that case. I've worked too hard. I have too much money. I'll get sued. So I stay away from those situations.
Yeah. Even if you win the criminal case,
you will never catch me at a protest, a rally. And I get called out and, well, if you were serious, you'd be there. I'm like, no, I do what I can. I do it. Look, I lost millions of dollars for not selling my protein bar to Kroger. You remember that story?
Yeah, wow. I remember that.
They were penalizing people who didn't get the Crenshaw, and they were penalizing them $50 for someone who's a bagger. That's a lot of money. on their insurance or their whatever, their company policy. And I wrote an email to the buyer and I'm like, look, and we were just about to close the deal. And I said, look, until this is reversed, I cannot do business with a company like yours.
Yeah.
And he was very respectful about it. And then I posted it just because it wasn't even, I didn't mean for it to go viral. This is just, I posted it because I said coming soon to Kroger. I was really proud of it because I worked really hard on closing that deal, and when I'm like, I'm not selling to Kroger. I just posted the email, blanked out all his name. I'm like, here's the email I wrote to Kroger. Whether you like it or not, this is a decision that I stand behind. And I actually had people within my own company who work for me who were very upset with me. But I was like, look, this is the only move we can make. We cannot be a company that doesn't stand on morals. And if you don't like the fact that we don't like people being forced to put something in their body they don't want in their body, then maybe this isn't the place for you. And I will respect that. I'll respect that 100%. Next thing you know, it's being retweeted by Donald Trump Jr. and everybody. And I was like, oh, okay. Then I'm on Tim Pool's show. It was actually pretty cool. But no matter what the PR was, it didn't make up for that opening PO. Mm-hmm. That purchase order would have been enormous. Kroger owns Ralph's. It would have been the gateway and everything. So when people say, well, you had a job, dude, I gave up millions of dollars for my convictions. And people are like, oh, I had to take it to keep my job. I'm like, yeah, but if your heart stops beating, then it doesn't matter. We didn't know. We had the same information. We had no long term. That's my thing. I'll be the first one. If you gave me data, I'll take the flu shot today. I'll take it right now. I've taken it, and the track record's pretty clear. It's probably not going to cause any heart damage. I'm not mad at the flu shot. Not mad at it. I'm okay. I'll take it right here, right now. I don't want to, because I don't need it. But yeah, I'll take it. No problem. But this thing's not only a new shot, but it's a new technology.
We are the guinea pigs. We are the data currently.
And the animals that took it died. Like, that's the one thing I read. I'm like, wait a second. So the animals died, so we're putting it right into humans. Shouldn't we redo it on the animals first? Well, animal rights. Okay, whatever. With pit bulls.
There was a doctor that said that said, wait, why are we going ahead with this thing that just in the studies that I've shown, it's been killing mice? Why is it moving along?
Well, they did test the booster on 8 mice. So not just 1, 8 mice. And they're like, well, that's good enough. Let's give it to kids.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
So
5-year-olds.
At that point, I'm like, and I literally posted and I've gotten more vehement with my whole, like, you should not have taken this. You need to figure out how you can block whatever this caused. I don't know what that answer is. Maybe it's the same stuff we use to prevent getting into the first place: quercetin, zinc, vitamin D, vitamin C, all the good ionophores and viral defense supplements. I like to call them to not get banned by Facebook. But so we have all these maybe that's the answer. But at the beginning, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna wait. I think everybody should wait and let it go through the third phase, which is necessary for a reason. You need that third phase. Everybody's like, if you're not taking it, you're killing grandma. I'm like, how? That doesn't make sense because I've most likely had the thing, right? And how is that going to happen?
Did grandma take it? Oh, she did? Yeah, she'll be fine. Okay. Don't worry about me.
Yeah, I never understood the whole group thing. No one ever shamed me for not getting the flu shot. Not one person.
Very weird. It's very weird.
Very weird.
And it's always the same people, the damn Ukraine flags.
Yeah.
They all have,
so millions of dollars, you think?
Millions.
For the Kroger, millions?
Dude, think about it.
Go on Shark Tank now and tell them I stood up for my morals, and you'll have Marc Cuban going, that's really admirable.
Marc Cuban simped out, though, man. He was literally ratting out restaurants. So Marc Cuban, just so you know, my screensaver on my phone used to be a quote from him about work like there's someone else working 24 hours trying to take everything. Your everything. So Marc Cuban,
I like that.
Marc Cuban was like I always said I've had up to about 2020, probably a dozen or more podcasts of me saying that the 2 business people I look up to are Marc Cuban and Dana White.
Yeah.
Those are my 2. Now it's Dana White. Marc Cuban, and he can still redeem himself if he comes out and says, I was scared. I'm okay with people being frightened, but he hasn't. And I'm all for repenting because I love Catholics. So again, like with him repenting, if he was to say, yo, I was wrong, and I apologize to all the restaurants that I helped shut down, but he won't, because the egos are too big. And all these people who were pro everybody getting it, they know they were wrong.
They know because everybody's getting it.
The CDC director, so many words I could say that would get this channel taken off the air right now. That CDC director.
Do it, but pay us a flat fee right now.
The CDC director literally has allegedly, I'm not saying that they had saline in those shots. I'm saying that they could have not gotten it at all. That's a conspiracy theory I'm not going to espouse.
I put on my little tinfoil hat.
Darn, this is going to get ad suitability.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it's going to get the yellow money sign, not the green money sign.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
You think
it's okay.
so?
Yeah, we've had plenty of videos.
Think?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's okay. We've passed
But she,
We're done. It's
the
done.
point of no return. Yeah,
but she took it and she got it. That right there is, well, she's not going to get, there's no data. Zero data. If I'm wrong about it, I want you to comment down below and I want you to put it. There's zero data that shows that it lessens symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
That is a simple hypothesis or a guess or a lie. But there's no data showing that it lessens symptoms. Then they'll point to correlative data that can be easily dispelled by other correlative data from other hospitals or from the Israel data. So I'm looking at this just as a random meathead, a bro science guy, and I'm like, where's the science? There is none. There never was.
Right. Yeah.
Can we talk about what's the Illinois Holocaust thing? What is that?
So they posted, they required, they said to get in here, you have to have your card, your
the
Crenshaw
card. Oh, okay.
And I said, are you serious? Are you serious?
Show me your papers.
You're literally telling people, and I'm like, you guys are Nazis. And that kind of blew up. Because they're like, and then they're like, oh, this guy's a Nazi. I'm like, I'm not a Nazi. I called you a Nazi first. That means you're Nazi. I said it first.
Speaking of Nazis,
Speaking of Nazis.
do you want me to read that comment I sent you on Twitter? Some girl claims that she watches the show. You can throw it up.
I'll throw it up.
So, Anomaly?
Yeah.
I love
He's
him.
awesome.
He's so awesome. I really want him to come on the show in person. I mean, I know he would come on virtually, but he's in California, so it's tough to get him out here. But he has been supporting Kanye a lot, and he's been posting a lot of clips of Kanye and Lex Friedman and just pointing out the general nonsense of Kanye says something and then he gets deplatformed and is essentially proven right. So here's a tweet here. So Anomaly's YouTube was demonetized, and this is his main source of income. He has, I think, at least 1.5 million subs on YouTube, if not more. Yeah. So this is what he does for a living. And so because he's been supporting Kanye, they demonetized him, and he says, they're trying to ruin my life because I backed Kanye West. My website links to a security warning. What the F? And so I just commented, I hate seeing this. I said, this is crazy. I'm sorry this is happening, because people don't realize that people like Anomaly, it's their income. Like Josh LaCash, when he came on our show and he got kicked off of Patreon, that was his entire income for his family, just gone that. And so there's this girl who... Baysap Rocky is her handle. She says, I'll read the whole thing and then I'll break down all of the steps that she got wrong here. Gina, I love your work, the podcast, all of your fitness content directed towards women, and I love Evie. You can be a strong conservative woman without bowing the knee to Nazi propaganda and anti-Semitism. A lot of women look up to you, and supporting this stuff ain't it. So mistake number one, Baysap Rocky, you think that I care that you love my work? You think that you telling me that you love my work is going to make me want to listen and say, oh, you like my stuff? Okay, so then what should I say? You like my stuff? This is such a woman thing. It's like, I really liked your stuff. Until now, I really supported you and I really liked your content, and this really upsets me. It's such a woman thing that you think that I care that you like my content. I posted 3 anti-abortion things on my Instagram in the past week and I lost 1,000 followers. You think I care if you like my work? You think that's going to make me listen to you and make me not say what I think and not say what I want to say because you like my content? So that's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2, you can be a strong conservative woman. What the hell makes you think I want to be a strong conservative woman? What is that label? That's my goal in life, to be a strong conservative. You think that I aspire to live up to the label of being a strong conservative woman? You think I want to be a boss bitch? I have no interest in being a strong conservative woman. Mistake number 3, bowing the knee to Nazi propaganda. Do you have the mental capacity of a glazed donut? Do you honestly think, can you say with a straight face that me being supportive of Anomaly to make a living on YouTube is somehow related to Nazi propaganda and this is why I texted this to you. This is why I hate mainstream conservatives. I hate them with a passion. You all mainstream conservatives, you fucking suck. You are exactly what you cry about the left being. All of you mainstream conservatives, Ben Shapiro especially, all you people, you cry about the left doing all these things to you and misrepresenting you and calling you a Nazi. And then you people turn around and you do the same exact thing.
They claim oppression to then oppress. This is what happens.
That is like, I could not say it better. I could not say it better myself. You claim oppression to then you claim oppression to be oppressed.
Yes.
To then oppress.
To then oppress, yeah.
And this is why I hate conservatives. You guys, this is why we're losing. Because you guys cry and cry and cry. The leftists keep saying that Trump is racist. The leftists keep calling me a Nazi. The leftists keep saying that I'm doing everything they did in the Holocaust. And then you turn around and you say that Kanye is being a Nazi. You turn around and saying that I'm falling to Nazi propaganda. You have shit for brains. So that's mistake number 3. Mistake number 4. A lot of women look up to you and supporting this stuff ain't it. Again, why do you think I care if women look up to me? You think that, oh, women look up to me. Let me try to please them. Let me try to do exactly what they want to do because they look up to me. I don't care. I don't care, Baysap Rocky. So you can take your mainstream conservative fucking Nazi propaganda stuff and shove it right up your butthole.
This is usually I do this. This is very surprising to see you do this.
This is why I hate mainstream conservatives. This is why we're losing, because the conservatives who run the mainstream right keep doing the same stuff over and over again that they claim that the left hates. So this is so much bigger to me than some person who disagrees with me. This is why conservatives keep losing. This is why the right sucks, because they cannot grow a pair and do what they're meant to do, and they keep playing the same games, the same outrage culture, the same nonsense calling names and Nazi stuff that the left does, and then they turn around and they cry about it when the left does it.
I worked at this place called Vincent's on Long Island, Vincent's Clam Bar. It started in New York in Little Italy, and they had one on Long Island. And I worked in the cafe. This was like 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
And I remember I was there before the shift started. Nobody in the restaurant, everybody doing prep and getting ready. And we had to wear button-up shirts. And I like to, how you have the shirt, you have a little puffy on the outside. It wasn't tucked all the way. You puff a little bit. So I remember walking by, and I think the GM of this, it was either the head chef or the GM says, "Hey, tuck your shirt in." And I said, "Well, it is tucked." He's like, "No, it's not." And I was like, "What are you, a shirt Nazi?" So then I walked away, kind of like the soup Nazi, you know what I mean? And I get called in by the GM. This is a little bit later, maybe like 20 minutes later. He's like, did you just call the chef a Nazi? I said, no. I said, he's being a shirt Nazi. And he said, why would you say that? I was like, because my shirt's tucked in. It's just not to the degree which he probably thinks is appropriate. And he's like, well, do you know that his parents were killed in the Holocaust? And I said, well, that his parents? Because that guy's like 30 years old. So he's like, I think he meant grandparents.
He's a fake Jew like me.
Right, I think he meant grandparents. And I said, okay, well, my grandfather is Jewish. He was shot over a plane and spent time in a POW camp in Germany. I mean, are we comparing dicks? What are we doing here? And he said, well, you're fired. And I'm like, well, now you're actually a Nazi because you're firing me. It's a Holocaust joke. but it actually happened.
You actually got fired?
Oh, I got fired.
Nothing's
I got
funnier
fired
than Holocaust jokes. By the way, can we backtrack? I just
fire.
Now, again, like if I could stand up, but there's not enough space, I'll hit the wall. I would have given that a standing ovation because that was amazing. And I'd like to touch on not literally Ben Shapiro in a second.
Don't literally do that.
No, that'd be weird. Are we really calling a black rapper a Nazi? Like, is that what we've come to? Like, Kanye West is a Nazi. Yes. I'm like, he's literally a black guy from the south side of Chicago.
He's a proponent of white supremacy, dude.
But he's freaking black. I'm sorry, I almost had to F-bomb
He's so black, he's almost blue. I mean, if you look at his skin, he's black.
But I mean, and I saw his documentary. If you haven't seen that, I know a lot of people canceled Netflix, but get it for like the free trial and watch it. It was amazing.
Oh, is it good? I haven't seen it.
Oh my God. Good. I made my kids watch it because of his hard work. Look, I don't agree with everything anybody says, but Kanye West, what an OG. I love him.
I agree with Jesus. Everything Jesus said is accurate and true.
Yeah, so Shapiro, I didn't even see this back in the day, literally wrote a tweet that said, get the Crenshaw, you dopes.
Yeah.
Wait, he said that?
He
yes,
did.
I can pull it out. Keep talking.
Here's the problem.
I'll send it to you.
Here's the problem.
I can look at it.
Okay.
He's smarter than me. He can out-debate me, I'm sure. But
I'm getting a lot of information. I remember all the numbers.
he can't outlift me, so I guess we're even. But the bottom line is, for him as a smart, he loses all cred. He loses all cred because he's a man who's supposedly based on data and science.
Go up to the other tweet though, above that, the thread.
Data and science. And he goes and he tells, so my thing is, who's he being paid by? Because nobody who can read had that position. Everybody was like, I'm going to get it to protect me because I believe it's the best. You make the best decision for you and your family. Anybody who says that, sus. Highly sus. Highly sus. And as the leader of the Jewish delegation, we hereby suspend him from the tribe.
Whoa,
Gone.
Ben Shapiro suspended
He's
from
not
the
Jewish
Jews?
anymore. He better take off that damn hat.
Wow, what is he?
He's going to have to go to Catholicism. You could have him. It's
We
like the
don't
race
want him as a
draft.
member of the Catholic or the Catholic denomination. We do not accept
We
Ben
Speak
Shapiro.
for the middle
Chinese
ground of
delegation
Protestantism and Orthodoxy and say neither of them want him either.
Yeah.
Can we get Dave Chappelle on here so we can do the race draft, but with religion?
Love that.
That'd be amazing. The RZA, the Jizza, the Wu-Tang Clan. Oh,
I DM'd Kanye and he didn't get back to me.
Go
Well, he
figure.
doesn't accept new DMs. That
I
was the
know.
thing, right?
This is, it says whenever I messaged him,
He slipped in his DM.
it just said
Slid
this,
right
I got this notification. This account can't receive your message because they don't allow new message requests from everyone.
Oh, they're using non-binary language.
But-
That's kind of weird.
Who would guess? No, I think
There's
that
got to
it's.
be a way you can get them.
But what,
Has to be a way because he went on Lex. I feel like he's on a circuit right now. He would do it.
you just got to get in. You got to find somebody who knows him and who can.
That wouldn't happen.
I might be able to have a go around if you've noticed some of my business partners have connections with that industry. So I might be, I'm not making guarantees, but I will ask.
Because one thing that we've talked about, one thing that Kanye would probably agree with us on, this is one of our most controversial takes. And again, I do not say this to be,
Flamboyant.
I don't say this to be flamboyant or inflammatory. I truly believe that abortion is a worse human rights issue on American soil, worse than slavery.
It's genocide
Yeah, it's
against black people.
Exactly. And I honestly think that
think he
we
would
could
agree with us.
I think Kanye would at the very least have a really useful conversation about that, if not agree with us as well.
Well, we do sponsor a very high profile hip hop star. He has 2 phones. Kevin Gates. Oh. So I could probably reach out and see what.
Oh, he's wild.
He's amazing, and he had a very viral clip about BLM the other day.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
I saw it.
Yeah, I remember first day I woke up in the morning, Alan Roberts, he's like, "Did you see what Kevin said?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's awesome." I'm like, I agree with everything he said, and he got a lot of hate because he said, he's like, they were never about our people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, thank you for saying that. But no, that's the thing though. Like the people I surround myself with are free thinkers. And if you look at, I love being called racist because if you look at my Instagram, all my business partners are black. I don't care about race. I just don't care. I think it's funny. I like the jokes, but
How come
black
you don't have
jokes.
any Jewish business partners? If you were really smart, they control everything.
well, I'm the Jewish business partner.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
am. I literally take care of all the Jewish stuff, legal stuff. That's me.
But more are better.
I don't
Probably
think so.
has the
I think then you got
secret.
then you got dueling Jews.
Oh,
you don't want
what's dueling Jews?
It's just too much IQ. Too much IQ in one building. You can't have too many Jews in one company.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's embezzling funds.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Do you want to answer some questions that a couple people have asked?
I would love to answer all the questions.
There's 3 here. Okay. One is from Oh Big Dog. I am a leaner guy. What do you suggest for building muscle if you are on a college budget?
So the good thing is there's a lot of good bulking foods that are cheap. Tuna fish, cheap. Buy chicken in bulk, cheap. If you are a college guy and you're on a meal plan, there's plenty of chicken and stuff in the cafeteria. But if you're trying to put on muscle, thing you want to do is you have to eat in a caloric surplus. I'm guessing there's a leaner guy, smaller guy, probably my metabolism. So let's say that you find that you maintain at around 2,000 calories a day. Start by going up to 2,200 calories a day. If you're still not gaining, go up to 2,400. If you start gaining about 1 pound a week, stop it right there. Hold it right there. Now, you got to control it or else you'll get sloppy. So you will get sloppy. And I recommend that for some people like linemen or some kind of athletes, you got to feed it, or people are extremely active. I'm guessing he's not a collegiate athlete. And another thing is that a lot of people don't tell you is you got to train really hard. To grow muscle sucks. Like I've had so many overuse injuries, aches and pains. You know, if you were to ask me if something hurts, everything hurts. Ask me what doesn't hurt. That's an easier answer, especially once you get older. So you got to train really hard. Generally around 4 days a week is usually the sweet spot for most. Weight training. You want to train your lower body equally to your upper body. There's a lot to it. But again, if you're on Instagram, you can hit me up in the DMs at Marc Lobliner. I have a ton of free programs that'll help you. I usually try to write at least one free book a month. My thing is I don't charge for books. I try to write one a month because I enjoy it. So I have everything from bulking books to fasting books, stuff I don't even agree with. Like my fasting book is basically it's kind of a modified fast because you have MCTs and stuff during that fasting period if you train during it. So my goal is to take what people want to do and make it better because you're not going to invent a new diet philosophy. And I'm a balanced guy. I like carbs, I like protein, I like fat. And I find that most people do enjoy not having exclusionary diets.
Nice. Okay. So from Chris Yang, what's the gayest exercise to do in the gym? He asked Alex the same thing.
If you were to ask, and okay, the most I can say okay, using this word in a non-offensive manner, I do have a lot of gay friends. I don't want.
Oh, they're fine with it. If they're gay, they're fine with it.
So Alex and I, Feinberg, we have a conversation about this. We cannot repeat it because if I were to show you I'll show you our text later. It's just, but anyway, those are private. You know, if you were to poll, and I have the opportunity to work with some of the top strength coaches in the world, if you were to ask them what the dumbest machine in any gym is, it's the leg extension.
Which one is that? Is that the one when you're on your stomach?
Your legs go like this and you're sitting on your butt and you're just...
yeah. So it's on your shins.
So here's where we get a little bit scientific. That's called an open chain movement. It means that your feet are dangling basically.
Yeah.
Closed chain movement would be like a squat, a bench press, a deadlift. So the problem with open chain movements, they put a tremendous amount of shearing force on that joint.
Okay.
Some people argue for it. Most strength coaches will argue against it. Also, you're looking at single extension. You're just extending your knee. Whereas a triple extension would be something like a power snatch, power shrug, whatever you want to call it. So in my opinion, leg extension isn't the dumbest, but from a strength coach standpoint, it would be. I honestly don't think there's any dumb exercises.
Okay.
If it gets you in the gym, you enjoy doing it, it gets you active, do it. However, from being effective, it depends on your goals. If you're an athlete, I'm not going to have you do, heavy leg press to failure. I'm going to have you do different movements that'll increase your power and speed output. If you're a bodybuilder looking after hypertrophy, I'm going to overload the muscle with single joint movements. So it depends on your goals. But if you're looking from an empirical standpoint, the gayest or most unnecessary machine in the gym, for athletes at least, would be the leg extension.
I went to the park with Ro today and I did a hang, 20 seconds. That's
not bad.
Oh, is that not bad for just doing it just hanging?
Yeah.
Not bad for your first.
What do you get up to, a minute, you say?
Well,
you can hang forever.
When I warm up, I'll hang for 60 seconds.
Okay.
For like the first, I do like 3 sets of a warm up. But I mean, that's like, even for me, that's pushing it.
Right.
60 seconds is a lot.
I stopped there. It wasn't a workout. I just remember I heard you in my head going, you should hang.
Yeah, definitely. Did it feel good?
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels nice.
Oh, it's amazing. And it also can help to, believe it or not, remodel your shoulder. It's a really effective and simple. Some PTs, the aggressive ones, the good ones, will have people do up to 30 minutes a day of hangs.
Dang, Ido
Really?
Portal
Like 30
says
times?
7 minutes a day for like everyday people, but 30 minutes a day that's next
That's
level.
for people who have serious shoulder issues.
Right.
Would I recommend that? No. But again, I've seen it done. So it is a very effective rehabilitative movement.
Yeah.
Very effective.
Hey, Marc.
Hi.
This is from Bod the... What the hell?
Welcome.
God the something O'Rourke. Hey, Marc, could you go into more detail about no morbidity? Well, first, tell us what no morbidity is.
So no morbidity is from one of my companies called Ambrosia. It is an appetite suppressant, which actually works. There's 4 patented ingredients in it that all work to basically decrease hunger, cravings, and also alleviate stress. So I formulated that in conjunction with Alan Roberts, who is a weight loss guy. You probably see him. He always yells at fat people and gets banned. That's kind of his thing.
name.
Alan Roberts is great, the MFing COO. So Alan is probably my best friend, I'd say. I could classify him as that now. Hopefully he agrees with that. But Alan is a wealth of knowledge, and he works with morbidly obese people and helps them unfat themselves. So we created this supplement because the number one thing that makes people fat is eating too much. And the problem with appetite suppressants is they're usually not dosed enough, and they don't use patented or proven ingredients. So, when he's out here, we'd be great. We're fun together. He's a good guy, but he comes out here quite frequently.
Let us know. We'll have him on. We'll have him both on for a live stream or something.
He's an amazing guy. But so essentially what it does, it decreases your appetite, decrease your cravings, which will also help decrease your stress with something called KSM 66, which is ashwagandha extract. So it's been fantastic. And it's one of those things that really helps people with their main issue, which is eating. Because you could take all the fat burners you want. I'm one of those few people especially in science. I actually had an argument if fat burners work with a group on ISSN, International Society of Sport Nutrition. We have a group who just argues. And I argued with literal PhDs who do studies on it. And I do believe that there are so many ingredients. Like I believe it's Capsimax, which is a capsaicin extract, which is, peppers, cayenne pepper, which has actually been shown to increase your caloric burn by 100 calories a day. So if you're at a caloric deficit, that'll just increase your fat burning. So I'm not adverse to anything that increases caloric burn or helps to keep your metabolism up. So will it make you lose weight? No. At the end of the day, if you don't diet and train, you're going to fail.
That was my question. So is it worth it just to tell someone who's overweight trying to lose weight, okay, here's the main thing is the appetite suppressant, or is it fixing that diet and exercising? That's going to be like the 90%.
No morbidity is the one supplement I would say will help people who don't train, because we've seen it happen. Other than that, I would say that certain things do help. Like we know from the Crenshaw, we know that certain vitamins help you stay healthy and help you from viral replication. So we do know that supplements work. We've never known more than now the efficacy of certain proven supplements.
Okay.
From a science standpoint, again, you get down to the nitty gritty, but at the end of the day, you have to, even if it's just going on a walk, you have to be active.
Yeah.
You have to be active. And that is the way, if you want to say, screw the man, if you want to take your independence, be healthy.
Yeah.
That's the way to be independent.
I'll ask my own question here. What do you think about, are there ways to not necessarily avoid the gym, but let's say I just wanted to work out at home. That's my preferred method. I want to work out at home. I don't want to use any weights, and I'm not looking to necessarily bulk up, but I want to get muscular and toned out, basically. Is it just push-ups and then just furthering the number of push-ups every day, sit-ups, pull-ups, whatever, stretches and all, or squats at home without added weights? Is that possible?
Resistance bands.
I
mean, it's not weights, it's not the iron, but it's resistance. Like your muscle just knows resistance, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't know if it's a band or a weight. There's a different strength curve. Like obviously it's harder at the top.
Yeah.
But that's your muscle's natural strength curve. So anybody, if you want to train at home, by all means do it. Push people like, I do 100 push-ups a day. Cool, that's your chest and your triceps. Cool. Right. Maybe some, antagonistically beneficial effects on your lats and your rhomboids, whatever, which are your back muscles. I'm trying because people are like, what the hell's a rhomboid?
Yeah.
Right.
But bands, I did a whole series when 2020 hit and gyms were shutting down. I was still able to go to the gym, Frank, because carbon culture, we had a key. So we were able to train.
Oh man, that's nice.
But what I did is every day, my wife and I, we were in an apartment waiting for us to be finished. And every day we'd go out to the, by this lake area. You know where Nissan headquarters is? It's this beautiful area. It's down Carruthers by Lifetime.
Oh yeah.
So there's this beautiful area with this man-made waterfall. I used to go there and I'd take bands, and I did 30 days or 60 days of, it's a playlist on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, of band workouts. We also have many band workouts on tigerfitness.com. So when that thing hit, I'm like, they're closing gyms. I hate it, but what can I do to keep people fit and active?
Bands.
So I did that not to capitalize on it. At that time, I didn't even sell bands.
Yeah.
But I just wanted people to not be fat and to be active. So get resistance bands. Resistance bands you can do. Will it be optimal? No. Is it effective? Hell yes. Resistance is resistance.
And just being active. I got to tell you, I don't know what it was. I think it was changing shirts the other day. My wife was staring at me. I said, what are you looking at? You looking at how cut this is right now? And she was like, yeah. I was like, I don't really understand. I think it's the diet. I think for me and my body, I don't know if it's diet outweighs the exercise, but like I'm getting cut out of nowhere, and I think it's diet.
Diet does it.
Yeah. And everything's 100%, right? Like for optimal results, exercise and diet are equal, right? but if you're looking at, So what science shows, I hate to nerd out on this, but to lose weight, diet is very important. It's the number one thing. Caloric deficit, burning more than you take in. Okay. To keep weight off, and it's a lot of it, but exercise is vitally important. So you can slip on that diet, but if you're exercising intensely, it's going to be harder for you to put that weight back on. Yeah. So once you lose weight, now I'm not saying don't lift and don't exercise when you lose weight. Once you get that weight off, it's much easier to keep it off if you exercise.
Yeah. What do you want to say?
I'm gonna go soon.
Okay, yeah. I think this is a longer one.
This was this is a great one.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to? Do you want to push your bars? Hold them up. Hold them up here.
Hold up.
Talk about your bars.
That's Tyrone.
So this is.
I thought it was Tyrese.
This is the outright bar. This is
Tyson.
This is the
you make this.
So this is mine. I created it so my kids can have it as a snack between soccer games.
Okay.
Believe it or not, I didn't expect to sell them at all.
Oh wow.
And then it just hit off. Yeah, we literally, because as a soccer, my daughter plays center mid. She's running like 7 miles a game. There's 3 games. All we had was Quest and 1 bars, which I like, but like there's like 12 grams of fiber there, and it's prebiotic fiber. So what'll happen is if you eat that much fiber pre or during a competition, you're either going to cramp up or poop yourself. Didn't want that. And at tournaments, there's nothing to eat. Cliff bars are basically all sugar.
Yeah.
So I made something that has, it's got monounsaturated fats from peanut butter, or in this case, cashew butter. This one's peanut free.
Let me look at this thing.
That one is our delicious chocolate coated one. It's got a longer ingredient list. We have everything from the one you like, the cinnamon sugar cashew donut, which has 5 ingredients. It's all natural, to that bar, which has inclusions like candy pieces.
Yeah.
So while it's only like 2% of the formula, the ingredient list is pretty long. But believe it or not, the ones with more ingredients sell better than the simple ones.
I'm not surprised.
I gotta say, we did try. I thought it was good as far as it tasted, but the fact that it won't make me poop in my pants.
Yeah, not pooping in your pants is always a plus. So that's the Twix.
I was gonna say it looks like a Twix.
It tastes like better than a Twix.
Oh god!
Wait, it tastes better than a Twix?
I would put that. Okay, I would put it up against a Twix.
Whoa, that's good, Mark.
I told you that's our fun bar. We can't sell it in the summer, so it's only out now till April because it melts. Oh. And refrigerated trucks would make the bar cost.
That's really good.
It's insane. So it's a good treat. It's a snack. It's not a meal. It's not. It's one of those things where if you want a snack, that's that. I eat them pre-workout and post-workout, and occasionally during the day. So that one is our most candy-like one. But there's ones like the crisp bar has 20 grams of protein.
Yeah, that does taste like a Twix. Wow.
So yeah, we have fun with it.
Naturally sweetened with honey.
Yeah, so we don't put artificial sweeteners, colors.
Oh, nice.
In it.
Man, that's good.
So yeah, it's sweetened with honey. So a lot of people are like, the carbs are high. I'm like,
oh, look.
And the sugar, so honey is a sugar, but it's not metabolized like a sugar.
Right.
It's actually diabetic friendly in many cases.
Well, that's what my wife uses in replacement for a lot of sugars in recipes.
And honey
maple syrup, all that
honey is a superfood. It has 26 minerals and antioxidants. It's a phenomenal superfood. But people just see sugar and they freak out. And then I'm like, so you're saying an apple is the equivalent of downing a tablespoon of sugar. Okay. I mean, sugar's not sugar. I know that sounds weird, but there's different types of sugar. Fructose, glucose, all that good stuff.
Well, thanks, Mark. Thanks for coming on our show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm right down the road.
Yeah, awesome. And listen, all the Jews out there, we like you.
I love you. You're my peeps.
Did I switch cameras? Okay,
Got it right. Got it right.
You didn't see me winking.
Oh.
Wink. Okay, Gina, send us off.
Thank you, everyone. Don't forget to go to imdoingmerch.com to get your awesome Don't Vote shirt. And don't forget, we have our Christian panel event on Saturday, December 10th. The link is going to be in the description, right?
Yes.
Go to the Eventbrite page, get your tickets, get your VIP tickets. You got a front row seat.
I think we've already sold like close to half of the VIP tickets.
Dang, so you better snatch them up. You get a front row seat, you get a meet and greet with us, you get a photo, and you get a bag of cool stuff that nobody else gets. Thank you and goodbye.